Hello everyone, this is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the streets of LA, Bitcoin on the streets of LA. I guess that's what this show is called here. You've all heard that everybody in LA has to wear a mask now, apparently. No mask on me. It's called defiance. I'm not going to be a compliant little bootlicker. Most people are. It's funny, LA says they care, I guess, about health. They're worried about your health, but here you can see there's just a tent, a homeless person's tent set up here. We're right off of La Brea right here, and that's fine. I mean, that doesn't bother me, but this hasn't gone away at all from LA. But now you gotta wear a mask. We care about your health, and we don't want anybody getting sick, but hey, if you're a homeless person, you can set your tent up anywhere. You can urinate out on the street or whatever. And that's what that is. And if the person's in there, they're cool with me, whatever. But I'm just giving you, the hypocrisy that's definitely out there. So let's talk about guilty until proven innocent. That's what we're living through here in California and in a lot of the United States right now. You're guilty until you're proven you've got that disease, unless you can prove you don't have that disease. So since everyone must have the disease, since everybody must be guilty, everyone must wear a mask, everyone must obey the rules of being a sick person. You must quarantine yourself because you're guilty, you're sick, even though you're not sick. We're gonna quarantine all the people who aren't sick because they're really sick, they're guilty. Guilty until proven innocent. And guilty until proven innocent is a sickening way to live. That's not the way free countries were set up. You're not free if you're living in the guilty until innocent paradigm, but that's what we're living in the United States right now, so hey, deal with it, I guess. Or you can speak up against it. You can be defiant like I am right here. Pound that freaking like button. All right, so each state is an experiment. Obviously, here in California, they're very strict when it comes to the virus. But hey, in other states, they're letting up on the insanity that's been going on, and that's great. So you get to pick and choose which state is best for you. But most people are locked into their state, unfortunately. Now, I am getting the heck out of here, okay? They like the virus theater here. It's virus theater, and people feel safe now that, oh, everyone else is forced to wear a mask, so I'm safe. No, you really aren't. I mean, if you're worried about catching something, catching a cold, catching strep throat, you stay inside. Like it was in the old days, okay? But now people are like, well, Adam, you're not wearing a mask, so I'm not safe anymore. No, dude, so it's gonna make you feel better that I'm wearing a mask. You think the disease, you're not gonna be able to get the disease because I'm wearing it right outside of the brain. You think that's gonna save you. It isn't, it's theater. It's freaking theater. It's just like security theater at the airport. It's complete nonsense. But hey, if that's going to make more people feel confident that hey, a mask is going to save the day, then I guess that's all right. Maybe there'll be more if the businesses open up again, and all you businesses just open up. Just open up. They can't enforce it. Trust me. The cops don't even want to enforce this type of thing. But so I am not for being forced to wear a mask, okay? And I'm not going to wear the mask, okay? I am not going to wear the mask when I'm walking out on the streets. I'm not wearing a mask, all right? But there is a good point to it that some of these screaming Karens out there will at least feel better. Ooh, King Newsom now says we have to wear a mask, or King Garcetti, so it's safe. I'll spend money again. Okay, you freaking fool. Pound that like button. Now. So I wonder just how many people from California are going to be moving to Texas once this is all over, or Idaho. I mean, there's already been that's been the trend for a while. But I mean, this has gotten ridiculous now. I mean, some people, the reaction online when the order came down, you must wear a mask on the streets of LA. I mean, there were some people that were frustrated, but so many people are locked in to their state because they own a house, and we're going to get into that in a second. How I don't own a house, so I can go wherever I want to go. Now, one thing that we've learned from this is that telecommuting, if you work at an office, you don't have to go into the office. People have learned that, so that's a positive. Now, in some private industries, you do have to meet eventually. You do need a central office. But let me tell you something: the governments of every state, of every country, they shouldn't be building any new government buildings. There is no reason that government workers need to go into some plush office somewhere. Okay, all right. So, I hopefully will spend, the governments will save some, no, not the governments are into saving money, but you call out those hypocrites. If they build some new luxury government office building one of these days, say, hey, wait a second, look back to 2020. You didn't need, all your so-called workers were working from home. Not that they ever work or anything like that. And by the way, all you private industry people who don't have jobs anymore because the government shut down your jobs, they didn't shut down the government jobs. All the government jobs, they're still getting paid. Now, of course, they do nothing, I mean, but they're still getting paid. Keep that in mind. So possessions, Elon Musk said possessions are an attack vector. And of course, I agree with that. I live that. If you have a house, if you have a car, if you've got a TV or whatever nonsense, if you've got a pet, it's an attack vector. It keeps you down also. It keeps you in Los Angeles. Oh, I don't want to leave my pet. I don't want to leave my big screen TV. I paid so much for it. Obviously, I don't want to leave my house. The house is an attack vector because you get sued on the house, you get taxed on the house. Cars, same thing. Someone can steal your car, vandalize your car. It's always, insurance goes up on your car. After all this, don't worry, the insurance rates will be going up after all this is all over. So you want to get rid of your attack vectors in life, okay? And once you've gotten rid of your attack vectors, I once had a pet. I never had a TV, really. I had a bad TV. I had a car, I had a house, got rid of it all, so I am free. Once a state goes draconian, like California, I can just get up, moment's notice, go to a new state. I'm going to, after Baltimore, after I visit Baltimore, I'm going to Asheville, North Carolina. If that doesn't work out, I go to another state. You use Airbnb that way. That's the way you use Airbnb. A lot of people don't use, they use it for vacations or whatever. No, you use it to pivot to a new state once some state gets uncomfortable. Now before all this nonsense came on, and you could do it, you could go to any country once they lift a restriction, any state, any city, any country you choose at the spur of the moment and just start anew. You got your Bitcoin, that's where your wealth is. That's not an attack vector. They can't take that from you. Okay, that doesn't hold you down. You take that from country to country, state to state, jurisdiction to jurisdiction. It's not like having a dog or a car that you can't take, that grinds you down, that grounds you down, whatever you want to say it is. Anyway, so that's the way you get rid of your possessions. I mean, I basically travel around with a suitcase and a backpack, and you know, I've got some old stuff, some records stored at some relatives' houses and whatnot. You can do that too, but get rid of the stuff. It is an attack vector. Possessions are an attack vector. Once you've gotten rid of enough attack vectors, you're free to go from place to place. When things get tough, you pivot, you go to a new place, and that's it. So anyway, I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Subscribe to the channel, pound that like button. Defiance on the streets of LA, no freaking mask. Yeah, boy. All right, Eugene. So a lot of us know about Belarus because we read articles in CoinDesk a few months ago or a few weeks ago, I forgot now, about the leader of Belarus wanted to, or suggested using nuclear power plants to power Bitcoin mining. What is that all about? Was that just a gimmick or?
Yeah, the beginning of the answer is Belarus suffered. Everybody knows. Let me start with the next. Everybody knows the HBO TV series Chernobyl.
Mm-hmm.
Chernobyl, right?
Yes.
This TV series explains the disaster happened in 1986 in Soviet Union with Chernobyl nuclear station. This station now it is closed. Okay. It's situated a little bit southern than Belarus and Ukraine. But Belarus, the former Republic Belarus, had suffered a lot of comparing with other parts of Soviet Union, and the nuclear for every Belarusian citizen means the most dangerous thing they ever had. Nuclear. That's the starting point of the answer. So the news that Belarus started to build its own nuclear plant with Russian money, I need to mention that, sounds like a crazy mess. For example, like for Japan to build another Fukushima after the crash of the first one. So why the President Lukashenko decided to do that? I think two reasons. First of all, cheap energy. because of economical, rational reasons, cheap energy. Second one of Russian money. So the situation is the Belarus began to build nuclear plant, its own nuclear plant, Belarusian atomic plant, it might have called. And the main consequence of this is this nuclear plant will produce a lot of energy, and Belarusian economy will not consume even the 1/3 part of this energy. So we need to decide the problem where to utilize the energy. And then mining comes into the realm. Of course, Lukashenko is not the stupid dictator. He is politically clever dictator, and he do understand what crypto is. He signed the decree of economic development in the December 2017, and Belarus had claimed that he would become the new Singapore in crypto realm in Europe. It was another story. So I cannot say that now the Belarusian nuclear plant, it is not built yet. It is being built right now, but when it will be finished in building, perhaps we will have a hidden or not maybe official government mining plant supplied with the energy of the Belarusian nuclear station. That's the story. It is continuing, and we are observing on the situation, and I will inform you further about the details of that study.
Well, so if this really gets pulled off, Belarus could become a wealthy country. I mean, they could start mining Bitcoin, right? Or do you think they're too inefficient?
That's a hypothesis. As I have mentioned earlier, the Belarusian GDP is 0.7 in the world per person in the world GDP. Maybe the core, the industry right now in Belarus, the core industry was oil and gas, oil refining. Russia supplied Belarus with definitely cheap oil, and Belarus refined it and re-exported the oil products to the world market. Now, when oil costs $15 or even less, $15 per barrel, this economy, the part of the economy will have shrink. So Belarus right now, and the Belarusian leader, in very difficult, the worst difficulty situation in his experience. Where to grow, where to develop, what part of the economy to take. Belarus has an IT segment. It consists of about 3% of GDP, and maybe mining would have become the major part of the Belarusian economy in the next 10 years. I will not reject this situation, but we will see. Right now, it is not. So it is still in very beginning in talking and conversation.
How long do you think the leader can hold on to power for? He's done since 1994. That's a long time. Do you see there's any chance of him going away anytime soon?
You know, let's remember the most long-stay dictators in the world. Fidel Castro in Cuba and maybe Muammar Gaddafi in Libya.
Yep.
Correct? Or in Egypt. More than 45 years old each. Lukashenko now has been staying only 26 years in power. It's a crazy mess. I think this scenario looks like when in 1960s, British Empire had gone from Africa, and the majority of African countries had declared their independence. They quickly became dictatorship countries. That's the scenario we do see in after the crash of Soviet Union. We are like in Africa, but more than in the north of the planet Earth. So I don't even try to predict how long he will be staying, but that's a pain question. It all depends from the eastern side. The main the most important question: how Vladimir Putin will be staying at the power. Maybe the correct answer will be when Putin will came out of power, Lukashenko will came out of power quickly. While Putin is staying on the power, Lukashenko will be staying in power again. How long will it last? Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
That's a really good answer. That's a good. As long as Putin's there, your leader's going to be there
Correct.
too. But the day that Putin goes away, it's going to change over there too. So very good. So finally, again, is anybody scared of the virus there? I mean, it's just people just walking around doing business as usual, right?
Yes. In how to say in folk, how to say folk, the German word folk, in personal opinion, everybody, of course, everybody's talking. Everybody's not forgetting about the virus, but we in Belarus, we were in a much worse situation. We're in Soviet Union. We're in Stalin. We're in collectivization, in famine, and the Second World War. 25% of Belarusians were killed in the Second World War. The quarter of population. So any viruses, we don't care about any viruses. So that's the folk story. I'm joking, of course. But the story, nobody is scared. Is so scared that he sits in home and is not walking anywhere. Everybody works. Everybody goes on work. Everybody goes on shopping.
I think it's a good attitude to have. You know, we've seen. You're saying we've seen a lot worse than this. We're living our lives. We're doing our thing, and we're not hiding. And I think it's a great way of handling this situation. So
correct.
It is
realistic approach. Realistic. Virus doesn't stop the life here in our country.
Good. No, and more people should know about what's going on with everyday people like you there. That you're just living their life. Because when people read these stories about the virus in Belarus, they see a picture of your leader like playing ice hockey, and I mean that's. They're making.
He loves to play hockey. He loves to play any sport, and he loves more other things.
The media tries to portray it more as like a joke. I mean, but it's not a joke. There's real people living their lives there. You know, you guys. I mean, it's not a wealthy country. They gotta keep the. I mean, you said it previously. You got to keep the economy going. If they shut down, if they took the precautions that these other countries are taking. The whole country would fall apart. I mean, your economy would be destroyed. It would be destroyed. And the leader does not want that. He does not, because he'll lose power if the economy gets destroyed.
Of course. Correct way of thinking. Right?
So I mean, he has his own reasons, but in the long run, his reasons they're good for the people because at least the people can be productive and they don't have to. They're not hiding and they don't want to hide. So good. I'm glad. I like the Belarusian attitude, and I really. Thank you for all this insight, and I hope people out there are really, we've heard about Belarus. Now you heard it from the horse's mouth right there. So Eugene, pound that like button, dude. Thanks a lot for being on again, and see you guys later. All right.
Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Look at this thing coming by. This is what I've been telling you about. This is the future, the golden age right there. That is awesome. That is a delivery. Is anyone monitoring that thing? That is awesome. The reason I'm doing this video is because I'm out here being defiant in Los Angeles. And there's pinks in the background. How to be defiant. Don't be compliant, dudes. Oh, I'm excited here on the streets of LA, baby. Defiance, baby. Get out there like I am here. Traffic is picking up.